Mohamed Kudus is very imminently going to join a list that includes Michael Carrick, Jermaine Defoe, Freddie Canute, Scott Parker, Neil Ruddock, and very soon Mohamed Kudus, players that have played for West Ham and for Tottenham, as the Ghanaian winger looks like he is about to be announced as a Tottenham Hotspur player. That seems very bizarre to say. Honest views, reactions. This could get rather lively over the next hour. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. I'm a bit shocked, to be totally honest. Shocked is a word. I mean, it's settled for a little while. We've known about the prospect of it for about a week or so, and it's just become more real as the days have progressed. And since yesterday, we've had pretty much confirmation of what's going to happen. Before we get into all of that, two fantastic guests joining me, two rather hot guests, and I don't mean in a I mean in a pure temperature way. Mike and Nigel, how are we, chaps?
Yeah, good mate, not too bad at all.
Mate,
Good stuff. Nigel looking rather red.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're working on roofs.
Yeah, I do not envy you one bit. I was sat today in a nice office with a lovely fan going around, nice bit of breeze. It was lovely. Still a little bit too hot. Yeah, well, anything could happen on these shows because, of course, if you're not aware, I'm currently the only occupant. What is going on here? Trying to present a professional show here, right? And I don't even. I mean, Nigel, what are you doing? Trying to present a professional show.
I had to switch that because it was draining it.
Right, let's start again. Hello. Completely forgot where I was, but yes, I am currently the only occupant in this house, so there is no moderation from my elders. So we're free, fellas, to do whatever we like within
Party
reason.
round Jake's then. Party round Jake's.
Yeah, party round mine. Until next Sunday. So yeah, we can get on it the weekend. Loads of beers in the fridge. It's gonna be a great time.
I've got connection problems.
Oh God.
Yeah, right at the moment, Nigel. You're coming through loud and clear.
It's all dodgy from the care home he's in, see? Oh dear. Can you hear us at all or not? Oh.
He was all right. He was coming.
He was all right a minute ago when he was moaning about his suntan.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. See, I tried to bring some professionalism to this, and it all goes peak Tom. Let's have a look at some comments. Evening, Jake. Hope you're being good while home alone. Absolutely, doing just fine. I got back from Poland on Tuesday. I brought home these lovely Polish pretzels, Mike, and I must say they are excellent. Absolutely excellent. A bit salty, but yes, very good. One thing I did notice, do you know what? I did like coming back to England because people are a bit more happy over here. It's flipping miserable in Poland. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I found them all right when we went.
Really?
Last year, they were pretty good. Yeah, but I was in Krakow, so.
Oh, there we are.
Mate, you weren't in Krakow, were you?
No, we were at the Poland Darts Masters, and I have a cup to.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did watch some of it on there.
I was on the telly a couple of times.
I looked at. I must have missed that bit.
Yeah, when old John McDonnell was doing his thing at the start, you can just about see me. Or is it gonna? You can just about see me in the corner there. Look, there I am.
Oh yeah, see you, mate. I see you.
There I am. Yeah. So I've been on the telly as well, but yeah, there we are. Mohamed Judas. Miss Hammerat, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Good riddance to the traitor going to Spurs. Let's reinvest the money in some youth. I'm just beyond words right now. If he takes his attitude to Spurs, then he will be another flop like Richarlison. He will, absolutely. Something to a rival. Indeed. The desperation which it has come to. 54.5 million over 3 years, and we have a 40 million loan that needs to be paid by the end of July. 10% sell on to Ajax, leaves Potter £9.5 million. Well, we've been told most of it's going to buying new players. But Nigel, can you hear us and see us? or look like it. Hello, Mike. You can hear me, can't you?
I can hear you, mate. He's frozen, I think.
Hear
Nigel.
me. Nigel is frozen, well and truly. So I don't know what's going on there, but what a way to return. Hit the like button. Exactly. Honestly, what I got to put with. 50 million is up front of it now. I think I read it in 3 installments. I'd like it to be up front. I hope that's true.
It's usually in installments, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's paid up front now.
Yeah. Have you been to the London Stadium, Jake? Nowhere more miserable than there. Well, I thought that was the case, but yeah, not even a smile. Like, I don't know whether it was just me. Maybe they didn't like me, but wouldn't be the first or last, eh? You think we will sign Elliot? Elliot who? Have I missed something?
Harvey,
Have we been linked? Harvey Elliott. Okay. No, I'm going to be honest. I don't think we will. Mike?
I don't know. I think Potter does like him. There's rumours that he does like him and he wants him, but whether we get him is another story.
Yeah. Now let's get down to what we're really here to talk about. Then Mohamed Kudus. I don't know. There's been an inevitable storm on social media, Mike, and we've got to try and work our way through that. I'm really split, to be totally honest. I've started off by not being too bothered. If I'm completely honest, we knew he was going. Absolutely, we knew he was going. But it just feels like a bitter pill to swallow, doesn't it? It
does, because we obviously didn't. No one wanted him to go there, because we just know what will happen when we play them. He's going to score. We just don't want that to happen. But let's face it, Jake. He had an 85 million release clause. He did not play like an 85 million player last year. First year, showed a lot of really good things, and he turned up in about 3 games last year. Yeah, one I was at Liverpool, and he had a good game out there.
Did
I think that's just because he's trying to put himself in the shop window. He never had any allegiance to West Ham. No. We got to remember that. Us as fans, we ain't going anywhere else. That's our team for life. These guys just go where they can get their money, or get the best deal. Now, for me, I don't think he fitted in for Potter. He was too greedy. Okay, when he beats 3 or 4 players, sometimes you should be able to open things up, but it just didn't happen enough. It
just felt like every time he got the ball, you'd stand in the stadium, and after Christmas this season, it got to the point where you feel he gets the ball, and you just say to yourself, "Oh well, when's he going to lose it?" It wasn't is he going to lose it, it's when he's going to lose it. And he's a magnificent dribbler of the ball. You cannot take that away from him. One of the best in the Premier League.
And maybe Frank does get hold of him and sorts him out. It's a possibility that he makes him into a top player, because I think Frank is a pretty good coach. But I think Potter just thought we don't need this, and when he puts in a request, then he's got to go. I mean, no one else wanted him, did they? Arsenal looked at him, didn't think he was good enough. Liverpool looked at him, didn't think he was good enough, and you could see why.
It does make me laugh when all these Spurs fans go, "Oh yeah, he only wanted us." Well, he only wanted you after Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool all said no, thank you.
Full stop. No one else wanted it.
So it was either that or stay at West Ham, and he quickly didn't want to stay at West Ham. Let's see. I don't know, Nigel, can you hear us? No, I don't know what's going on there. We'll just see if they can sort that out. Who knows what's going on there? But I mean, putting a transfer request, turned up late to training for a couple of days. It's evident that he was going to move, and it didn't reach. There's no connection to the point of the. I saw transfer request, and my mind instantly went to Payet. Because that hasn't happened. That doesn't happen at West Ham. Before Payet, can you remember the last time someone handed a transfer request at West Ham?
No, I don't. I really can't. At the end of the day, I think Potter wanted him out of the way. The money is neither here or there. We've got to sign people. We started quick, but I think he just wanted him out of the way. And now he's got a clean slate. All depending on Paqueta, the rest of them are going to stay. And then he's got to put in players around there that's going to make him a squad. In the end of the day as well, his best position was Bowen's position on the right wing. And, he couldn't play there because he's never going to get in front of Bowen. So, release him and then maybe find a player that in one of the positions that we need. Well, there's lots of positions we need at the moment.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? And yeah, I'm just torn on that. I'm not filled with instant rage. I don't. When I think about it, I don't feel incessantly angry. I'm not pleased. Don't get me wrong. We all knew he was going to go this summer, and for him to go there, it's not nice. It's not nice at all. It's messy.
You know what I mean? And they want to take the mickey and whatever. But then again, if it was the other way around, we'd do exactly the same to them.
Yeah. The whole fiasco is messy. There's no doubt in that. There's been clubs dipping their toe in the water and getting it out pretty swiftly, which I don't blame them for if they're going to base their, opinion on last season performances. Because you're absolutely right. I put on Twitter yesterday 3 half decent games last season. I can't think of much more than that. But yeah. Nigel, can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you and see you. Can you see me?
Oh, we got you.
Thank God we've got you. There we go.
I've moved. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh,
okay,
right.
That's good. Nigel, let's just get your overarching initial thoughts then. Kudus, we knew he was leaving. Just feels like a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, doesn't it, him going to Tottenham?
There's a few things I wanted to speak about with it. And one was what happened to the £85 million clause.
Yeah.
I feel we've let him go on the cheap and we've rushed things. And I think they've potentially, it's going to go one or the other. He's going to hit the ground running because we know that he's a fantastic footballer on his day. He's looked unstoppable for us at times. But then towards the end of last season, we all couldn't wait to get rid of him. So, but I just feel that we've done ourselves. I feel we sold him on the cheap. I think, they could have had the buy of the season, but let's hope not.
So let's talk about the management of this and the situation. So we knew he was going to leave, absolutely. It was just a matter of time of if, who and when was going to come in for him. And there was the likes of Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, the usual suspects you'd expect to be sniffing around a player like Mohamed Kudus. And then we received the news, was it last week, that we have a pretty substantial bank loan to pay off by the end of the month, and seemingly we need money and we need it quickly. There was an £85 million release clause in place for Mohamed Kudus, and then David Sullivan yesterday decided to accept a bid £30 million short of his release clause. It's been expected, and our asking price has been in the region of £65 to £70 million, and Sullivan has been willing to accept an offer significantly lower than that to get some money in the bank. We signed Kudus for around £35 million from Ajax a couple of years ago, and at one point, 12 months ago, I think we probably could have sold him for about £80 million after his first fantastic season for the club. But if we base it off of last season, and yes, absolutely, Nigel, I agree, we should have probably got more for him and we could have got more for him. But if you base it off of last season's performances, I'm going to be totally honest, you struggle to get 20 million quid for him. He was awful last season.
Yeah, he's too greedy. I think he was trying too hard. I think he'd had that good season. And I think he was off the boil and he was just trying to prove a point, and he just would do too much. It was that taking on that one person too much, and and I think people had worked him out a little bit as well, started doubling up on him.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I do think he was sold too cheap. I think, and the worst thing is he's gone to them. You can stomach it if someone like City had come in for him, or again, it's like the Rice going to Arsenal. It's a right kick in the nads, isn't it? Really, when you're selling him to our rivals. Do you know what I mean? And it don't sit well with me, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree, Nigel, with what you're saying, but I just don't think he was good enough for Man City or Arsenal. Looked at him, didn't want him. Chelsea looked at him, didn't want him. Liverpool looked at him, didn't want him. He wouldn't have fitted into that with any of those, I don't think. Tottenham was probably the only team that was going to have him. So, I'm not sticking up for them, for our owners, for sure. But there was no other offers for the guy. That is the problem.
Yeah. So let's talk about the management side of this. Now, David Sullivan has received a plethora of criticism on social media over the last 24 to 48 hours. There's been a lot of instant fury regarding the price tag, and that's what we've just touched on slightly there. And I think it's because people have got in their head that we've asked for £70 million. But then again, I could ask for a £3,000 pay rise at one, I'm not going to get it. You know, you can ask for the world, but the fact and reality of it was we were never going to get £70 million from Mohamed Kudus. That's it. You know, no one was paying 70 million quid for him unless we had a ridiculous Saudi offer come in, and he didn't want to do that. He made that quite clear. So yes, we probably could have squeezed some more money out of Tottenham. But do you think David Sullivan needs to take significant blame for this fiasco, which is effectively what it's become in the end? Mike, are you inserting blame to Sullivan?
I think, let's face it, it's a bloody shambles. We know our club is a bloody shambles, and he's at the top of the tree. And who else can you blame? You know.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is no one else came in for him. That's the only little bit, you know, that I will push to say yes. Do you know what I mean? What else could he have done there? Really, the problem is he should have just said no and let him fucking rot. Excuse my French. In the under-21s, because, you know, I think, don't get me wrong, he had a poor season, but we should have got 60 million, 65 million for him, and another 10 million could get us another good player. So that's what I think. Anyway, you know, I think he should. There's more that could have been done. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Nigel, do you think Sullivan should have stood firm with 65 million? And do you think Levy would have eventually just given in? Do you think he's just become a little bit excitable with 55 million on the table and went, yeah, I'll take it, and grabbed it? Do you think he should have stood firm to what we originally were requesting from the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool and Arsenal in the early stages of this, transfer fiasco? Do you think Sullivan's been a little bit soft in his negotiations this week?
Well, we don't know the situation with this loan. And when things become public like that, oh no, we owe this money and we owe that money, teams are then going to start thinking we can have a deal with them. And that's what happens, isn't it? Yeah, that's what's happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, I mean, I think someone would have come in and give us 60 for him. I do think that. I mean, if Anthony Elanga's going to go for that money, Kudus has got to be worth that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Elanga probably had a better season than Kudus did last year, to be fair.
If we'd have been riding high in Europe, it'd have been a different kettle of fish. We'd have got more money for him. He'd have wanted to stay.
Yeah.
But, you know,
he won't.
it is. I mean, who are we going to replace him with?
Somerville, who's going to seem like a new signing next season.
Yeah, I do think that Somerville's a great player, and it could be a blessing in disguise. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because I think he was a very, very good player, Somerville. Very, very good. And I think he was in Kudus' shadow. And you saw when he scored, and, you know, he was running up to Kudus, like almost looking up to him. If you take Kudus out the picture, you know what confidence does for a player. And if he thinks he's going to replace him, then all good. And I think Somerville can do really well. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen this season. Honestly, I've renewed, and, you know, I'm not excited at the moment. We're getting rid of players. We're not buying players.
Yeah, it is concerning, and this whole sort of, you know, saga has been pretty much indicative of the club at the moment and the state we're in as a football club as an entirety, because it's just a mess. It's just a complete and utter mess, right? We've let players go. And we've yet to replace them with 37 days until the Premier League season kicks off at the Stadium of Light, where we are undoubtedly going to lose 1-0 to Sunderland on the opening day of the season. Of that, I have no doubt. But we don't have a squad at the moment. We do not have a squad at all. We need players, we need reinforcements, and we need to hurry about it, to be totally honest. And, you know, Tottenham came in for Kudus, and there was a bit of surprise to start with, and people mentioned a Tottenham tax. Well, that's just been reversed, really. It's been more like Tottenham credit, to be totally frank, because we've given them to him for less than what we were originally asking for. So they've almost had a tax rebate, which we'd all like, couldn't we, from that. And it's just utterly desperate. It's desperate, isn't it? It's reached a point of utter desperation where we're trying to file for some money, and they've tried to provide some explanations by putting them out through the ITKs, basically by saying we based it off Elanga and Embuemo, who are going for the same amount of money. And don't forget, we've got to pay 30 million for Todibo this summer as well, that brilliant centre back Todibo. And I'm just worried above all else. And the sense of apathy from the end of last season, Mike, has not only continued, it's increased, and it's gone and translated more to concern now, because I'm worried.
Oh, yeah. If they don't get 4 or 5 decent players in very quick, I think we're relegation. I really do.
Yeah.
I honestly, I can't see it getting any better than last year.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think he needs a goalkeeper. He needs a centre halves. He needs another left back. He needs 3 striker-stroke midfielders. So, I mean, we let 6, 7 go now, haven't we? Is that 7?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 7 we've let go, yeah.
That's 7 go out the door, then really, we've got to replace them.
Yeah.
I know he's going to say, probably they're going to say, well, we got the likes of Marshall, Urfi and Potts,
but we can't base a Premier League campaign off of them.
I only think that Potts may be the only one that could get a fair bit of game time. The other 2 will have to go back out on loan again. So that's not the answer, I don't think.
Yeah. Let's be real and have a bit of a prediction, in the sense of, out of 10 currently, how confident are you that West Ham will survive next season? Out of 10, Nigel. If Nigel's awake.
He's gone again, mate. He's disappeared.
Nigel.
He's done the disappearing.
Nigel.
There he is. Oh, no.
Oh, no, he's gone. There you go. So, Mike, it's unfortunately over to you. Out of 10, what do you think I mean, I know that's hard, but what is the likelihood of West Ham surviving, in your opinion, out of 10 right now?
Well, right now, about 4.
Oh, I was going to say 5. Yeah, right. I agree.
But do you know what I mean? There is another.
That can change. Yeah,
and that can change. They could bring in some decent players. Confidence I've got of that happening? Absolutely
not a lot.
No,
not a lot.
But at the moment, I think they're looking at a relegation battle.
I agree. No, a dogfight, a proper dogfight.
Bring in some top players, and the state of the club at the moment, I don't think there's many top players that want to come to us.
Exactly. That's just what I was thinking. Who's going to want to come to us?
I was saying the other day, that's why we got to get championship players. That's the only way we can work now, is bring up decent championship players who want to prove themselves as Premier League players.
Yeah.
I can see us bringing in established Premier League players. I really can't see that happening.
Absolutely.
Fringe players from top teams, possibilities. I know they're interested in Harvey Elliott, and that's possibilities, but I still don't think we'll get him. I think he'd go somewhere else, like Newcastle, like that, above us.
Yeah, but, and talking of a player that left the club in the summer, Aaron Cresswell this afternoon has been announced as a Stoke City player. So he's going to enter the latter stages of his career, playing some Championship football at Stoke City. So fair play to him for that. Right, Nigel, do we have you?
Yeah, hello? I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Nigel's back.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Right, so the faithful, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Good. Right, so the faithful question is, out of 10, what do you currently rate West Ham's survival chances for next season? Likelihood
5.
Out of 10. 5. Yeah. So Mike went 4, I went 5, and you went 5. I mean, that's bleak, isn't it? It's utterly bleak.
I did hear you talking about the lads. I'm hoping that in this American thing and the pre-season friendlies, that the likes of Urfi and Potts are going to get played, so we can have a proper look at them in this team. Because they're going to be our backup. They've
Yeah.
done well.
At the moment, we've got nothing else, so it's going to have to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do think, you know. Then I thought you know what? I thought Oliver Scholes was going to be a good player, but when we watched him in the Liverpool game, it was, you could just see he weren't good enough.
Yeah.
I think he's not going to. You've got to be stand out to play in the Premier League. And he's not stand out, unfortunately. He can't. What I don't like about wing backs is wing backs that can't go past people, and he can't go past people. No chance. He was backwards. It was just like watching the old West Ham when we just should go from side to side, and Scholes, unfortunately. We need a decent left back, someone who's going to bomb forward and actually cause problems for players, and he's not that man.
I understand what you're saying in terms of Scholes, and that's an interesting point to come on to, because down that left-hand side is obviously going to have to be some renewing down there with players with Kudus leaving. But just with Scholes, I mean, yeah, he struggled and it was pretty painful at Liverpool a couple of months ago, but it'll also be pretty painful for quite a few left backs there last season. Do we think that same conversation was had when Rice started off having a mare? I think that he will stick with Scholes next season, and I think he will give him a little bit more time. I mean, people criticised Rice to the hill when he started, and look where he ended up. Do you seriously rule out, Nigel? Do you rule out Scholes being a first team player at West Ham? Scripted a perfect question. See?
But to be totally honest, Jake, to answer that one, I think, like you said, Rice had a rough start. Been many a player has been skinned by Mo Salah before, so
yeah.
I think it's a bit tough on him. I know what Nigel's saying. He gets the ball and he, instead of trying to take people on him, because he got a lovely whipping crossing with his left foot. He's put some lovely balls in there, in across to be like for Falkirk, especially. You know what I mean? But I mean, yes. I mean, I think a lot of that is confidence. You know what I mean? Playing a few games, getting up to Premier League speed. You know what I mean? And having the confidence, and then one of his mates will say, "Go on, take him on with the box. Get round your man, get it in."
He's got no pace.
No,
he's got no pace.
No, he hasn't got no.
He's got no pace. He's got zero pace.
No blistering pace on him at all. No, I agree with that. But you know what I mean? At the moment, we've only got Emerson and him as a left back, right? Okay, so we've got two left backs still at the moment, but also we've only got one right back at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
What if Wan-Bissaka gets injured?
Well, that's more of a pertinent issue. We need to sign a right back before we worry about a left back, because
exactly, we're talking about a left back, but hang on a minute. What happens if Wan-Bissaka gets injured first game of the season? Well, we're up the creek with that paddle then.
Do you know what? I say this.
Super.
Oh yeah, should have done. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. And I say this, not lightly, is that if we go to Sunderland on the 16th of August and Bowen tears his ACL, I think we are in deep, deep trouble. I'll be honest. If something catastrophic like that happens, and it's not what it is, one player, right? And I think that sums up where the club is at the moment. If one player gets a serious injury at the start of next season, then we need to start having some serious conversations about where we're going and what position we're going to be come the end of May. And we end the season at home to Leeds. What a occasion that could be if it gets that far, and if it needs to be. Because you imagine all of us walking to London Stadium on the final day of the season, needing to get something off Leeds. Again, I don't think that's wildly out of the realms of possibility sitting here currently right now.
Yeah. And Somerville gets a winner.
Gets his former club and sends them down.
I seriously think out of all the three up, Leeds will have a chance of staying up, to be honest.
I agree, yeah.
I think the other two may struggle.
Burnley are going to be hard to beat at Turf Moor.
Yeah.
You reckon? Really?
I do think that Burnley and Sunderland might have a decent start. Sunderland might. But joking aside, I can't see them staying up. Neither of them. What I
No,
saw,
I agree.
they're nowhere near Premier League standard.
No, but to be fair, in terms of TV scheduling, we kicked off with a good start with a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. Oh, no, Nigel's in a whole different world here.
What, Burnley?
Right, Nigel? I think he's about a minute behind.
Yeah, I think he's on a delay there, aren't you, Nigel?
Yeah, I think you've got more of a delay than
Burnley. Yeah. Going back to Burnley, they were very defensive, and they nick a goal. And I've watched them a few times, and I thought you're going to struggle a bit like that. They didn't have a hell of a lot of quality, and I watched some of them playoff games, and I thought, well, we think we're bad, but we are that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, what I was trying to say before Nigel's delay kicked in was we started off strongly with a Saturday 3 o'clock, and they've decided to put Friday night football for West Ham Chelsea. Then we've got Forest away on a Sunday, and then to top the lot, mate, we've got Everton away on a Monday night. Isn't that brilliant?
And I hear the Tottenham game's going to be moved to 5:30 on the Saturday as well.
Tottenham game's 5:30 on a Saturday. It's fantastic. It's 215 games live on Sky. Wait for all this crap to start now.
The trouble is, we're going to have loads of this, Jake. I mean, the armchair fans are loving it, aren't they? But for the guys that go up and down the country, I know I don't go to every away game, but I went to about 8 or so last year, and 90% of the home games. I mean, for the real fans, it's an absolute nightmare. Friday nights, Mondays, it's rubbish.
I mean, you can just see the conversation, can't you? Go on.
We still do it. We take days off.
Mad.
And it's just gone too far now, I'm afraid.
Do you know what? I was really looking forward to going to Everton away. The new ground, to see what it's like, and that's just a write-off now, because there's no way that's happening on a Monday night. There's no way we're doing that. It is absolute rubbish, right? And you can just envisage the conversation, can't you? Right, we'll do a Monday night football that week. Who can we get to travel the furthest? Right, West Ham, Everton, brilliant. Right, stick that on. You could just envision it, can't you?
Yeah, it's an absolute joke, and it's like us with Newcastle last year, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Us up there on Monday, and them
down here on a Monday. But putting Everton away on a Monday night, it is utter lunacy. And it's just going to be the start of what's going to be a painful season of fixture scheduling. Over 215 games on Sky, chuck in TNT and whatever else they want to mess about with. It's going to be endless. Nigel, you're looking forward to Everton away on a Monday night?
Has it been switched?
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, because do you know what? Because I wasn't able to go because I'd be in Krakow, but I think I come back on the Sunday night.
He's a jammy git, isn't he?
Yeah, so that'll be a good one.
So I've just sat here and slagged it off for 5 minutes saying how bad it is, and you come on and go, do you know what? It's actually really good.
I'm a bit happy about that, to be fair. I know that sounds a bit... Well, it is ridiculous, to be fair, for those people who aren't in the privileged position of being able to, throw caution to the wind and actually go. But I do agree. And it's, we had it last season with Newcastle, didn't we? Ridiculous. But it's the same for all the clubs, Yeah, it's all about the television, mate, at the end of the day, and the money that it generates. So,
and you wait for all the and there's going to be Sunday nights are going to kick in with the double the game Sky again. We'll have Sunday nights and we'll have more midweek, and you can just see it happening already. Can't you? It's going to be painful. Right, we'll fly through some comments, then we'll wrap things up. Kudus was on Chelsea's radar. He was, and once they all decided that they didn't want him, then what are you going to Tottenham, really? After all, then, after Liverpool said no, Chelsea said no, Arsenal said no, Newcastle said no, he put his mind at Tottenham. Ronnie, come on. He never really wanted to, he didn't only want to go to Spurs. You are not telling me that if Liverpool came in, he would have went, sorry, Liverpool, sorry, lads, sorry.
Who wants to go to Tottenham? Who actually wants to go there? Come on, who wants to go there?
He didn't really have a choice. It was either Saudi Arabia or Tottenham. And to be fair, I mean, that's quite hard. I mean, But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you sell to a rival, make them break the bank. We didn't even make them touch the sides. Welcome to West Ham, but there we are. There we are. Steve, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I hope you are well. All right then. So Spurs fan here. Why was Kudus so unhappy? I think he was getting no joy down that left-hand side, and fans were getting frustrated with him, and he was getting the ball. And I remember it was Man City away. It was in January. And we were on that side, and he was on that side in the first half. And the amount of times he got the ball and run forward and just loses it and just runs down, dead ends. And brings nothing out of it, and that's what I do hope Tottenham fans have a short, sharp shock at the start of next season. If he replicates what he did last season, then it's going to be mildly amusing, to be totally honest, because he was dreadful, utterly dreadful.
Like he did the year before in his first season, they got a top quality player, to be fair, but it just dropped off. His levels dropped off so much. It was incredible.
But also, guys, you've got to remember, when you're surrounded by crap, it just rubs off, mate. You see it time and time before. You've got good players around you. They make you look better. And look, we ain't got a brilliant team. Let's face it, we ain't. That's why we finished 16th. That's why we ain't in Europe, because we ain't good enough.
We did
when you've got that sort of negativity going around the team, you ain't going to play well, and you're going to try and. He's the sort of player that tries to get the ball and do something with it, and it just wasn't working out for him. And major changes needed. I don't know what you two think. I don't think Potter's the man for the job. I don't.
Well, no, I mean, I'm becoming more and more inclined to the opinion that by November, I don't think he'll be in a job.
We've changed from we've got a manager who wouldn't make a sub to a manager who swaps half the team around.
He makes the wrong subs at the wrong times and too many of them.
You make 5 subs. Do you know? We won't wait till 75 minutes. You just go boom, 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 and you're like, hang on. You're looking over at the sidelines. There's 3 players coming on. Then you look 5 minutes later, another 2, and you're like, this is like we're just changing the team up.
And he's changed it detrimentally. You've looked at it at some points last season. I've looked over and went, why the hell is he bringing him on? And bringing players on for the absolute sake of it, it seems. Let's just get through some comments. AJ, as a Spurs fan, never understood teams saying their best talent to their rivals. I was a young kid, but I remember when Big Pat went from Spurs to Arsenal, it still pains me. And it's what's aggravated West Ham fans over the last week. Spurs fans are... Spurs fans on social media are trying to paint this picture that, we're all angry purely because Kudus is going to Tottenham. It's much more than that. This is just a compounding and overarching incident that is intensified. It is completely intensified people's anger. We are not angry because Kudus is going to Tottenham. We're angry at the situation as a whole. We're angry with everything and the mismanagement that has occurred over the last 24 months since we won that trophy, right? And it's reached a boiling point. It's reached a crossroads where people have had enough. People have had enough, and they're not going to accept this mediocrity for any longer. And mediocrity is swiftly declining to... we know what, beginning with R and ending with N, unfortunately, unless we make, significant, drastic changes. Fathead says, we don't want top players, we need hungry young players. What top players ever work for us? We need to go into the Championship. We've said this on shows before, time and time again. When has it not worked for us and cost us loads of money? Never. Right,
we will be going into the Championship, Jake, at the end of the season.
Literally, let's go into the Championship to buy players, take them up to the Premier League. I see your point, Nigel. I will amend my terminology and wording, but
I'll just amend something as well. Which we're not angry because Kudus is going to Tottenham. But to be fair, we actually are angry that he's going to Tottenham as well. I'll just put that in there.
We're angry, but it's not the complete be all and end all of why we're angry, is it?
Yeah. But we are angry.
We are angry, yeah. But it's just a culminating factor of many things in a long list. of things, let's be honest. But yeah, look, I'll be honest, I was shocked when it happened, especially after he decked about half a dozen of their players last season out of White Hart Lane. So that's going to be an interesting walk into the changing room, isn't it? Hello, mate. Oh, I punched you last season.
Yeah, he's going to be a popular bloke, isn't he?
Yeah. Hello, Mickey. Yeah, Mickey van der Ven. Yeah. Oh yeah, I whacked you last season, didn't I? Oh yeah, I remember that. That was good. Yeah.
You can see him getting kicked up in the air a bit, can't you?
Yeah.
Good. Good, he deserves it.
Absolutely.
I don't really understand though, do they? Like us, the fans, they don't understand that sort of rivalry and the stick he's going to get. You know, he doesn't. That hadn't come into his head. He doesn't even realise that.
No.
You know?
Maybe when we go there, we'll be able to sing "Thank you very much for the 55 billion." Thank you very much.
But do you know what? We sat here in whenever it was October. Did we play them? Yeah, it was the 19th of October. I still got last season's fixtures up here. 19th of October we played him, and it was a feeble, toothless, spineless 4-1 defeat at Tottenham. And we sat here and we praised Kudus for being the only one to actually stand up and go, you know what, and fight and care. And maybe understand the rivalry.
Yeah,
that
was horrible. We went 1-0 up, didn't we? And I was right next to their fans.
Yeah,
that was a horrible day. That was.
Yeah, for sure. Still irritated, says Steve, by no Tottenham tax. What do you expect with our owner? But more relaxed after sleeping on it. Fair enough. Guilherme on the left. I mean, we've got options there. Let's not act as if we haven't got options there. You've got Guilherme and you've got Somerville to go out there. But again. We knew he was leaving. It's just the manner of the way it's happened that has peed people off, to be totally honest. But some final thoughts. Mike, Kudus, we're expecting it to be announced tomorrow. He's expected to be announced as a Tottenham player. And what will be your facial expression and reaction when you see that announcement tomorrow?
To be honest, mate, I think I'll get over it quite quick.
Yeah,
I've got to be honest. He's been a good player for us, but he didn't do it last year. His position, and he isn't half the player that Bowen is, obviously. He was unhappy, and he was unhappy. You could see that. He was frustrated, and I think because he wanted to play in Bowen's position, and he was never going to get it. You got to remember Tottenham, playing the Champions League next year. That's what he wants to do. He wants to play at the top level. So, understand that. But, still not happy, Bunny.
Just before I come to you, Nigel, we've got some breaking news that has just been materialising as we've been on air this evening. And there are various reports and sources suggesting that we are expecting very soon to hear the news that Lucas Paqueta is going to be cleared of all charges relating to his betting allegations. According to former Everton CEO Keith Wyness, who now runs a sports club consultancy, he has said that Lucas Paqueta will be cleared of charges and said, my sources say the case is now closed and Paqueta will be acquitted. That is doing the rounds on social media. Various sources are currently suggesting and implying that Lucas Paqueta will be cleared of all betting charges after a lengthy, painful and pretty damning investigation into alleged betting charges against him. Nigel, your initial thoughts to that?
More bad news. Means we'll have to put up with him again next season, giving the ball away.
That's not bad news, Nigel. That is not bad news. Come on.
Well, at least we might get what we might get a bit of money for him. Personally, look, on his day, he's brilliant. You know what? Perhaps he's been, having that hanging over his head has been affecting his whole, his attitude to playing football. So maybe, if he does get cleared, he'll come back a new player. That's what I'm hoping. But, he's not been brilliant, Jake. I think we all love him and, because of who he is. But let's face it, how many times did he cost us last season and the falling over and stuff? It's too much for me sometimes. I've gone from loving the bloke to thinking, oh God, really? I mean, If he's acquitted,
but can his form be reignited? I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say, can his form be reignited? Do you imagine, you put yourself in his shoes where you've got this hanging over your head? There was a point last season, one of the home games, where he got a yellow card and there were evidence tears dripping down his face. It obviously overwhelmingly impacted him, what was going on. And if it is true, and we don't know yet, but if he is cleared in the coming days, then the lawsuit against the FA is going to be monumental, I would expect. And I'd expect a significant suing to be, to be lodged, because for the amount of time that this has gone on for and dragged on for, and we've been told a couple of weeks, we'll get the verdict, a couple more weeks, we'll get the verdict. It's gone on too long. It's hung over him for too long. And if we now find out and it materialises that actually he's done nothing wrong, then can we see that lifted off his shoulders, Mike?
What do you think, though?
I tell you what, that he's got to sue them to the hilt, and West Ham as well. I mean, that's got to be millions of pounds worth. If he does get away with it, I think it's an absolute disgrace that it's taken long. I think we'll get a player back. I just think with that hanging over his head, don't get me wrong, he'll still do some of those things you're on about, Nigel, where he will fall over now and again, but he is a top quality player. You don't be one of Brazil's best players. You've got to be pretty good to be that, and he is, and he was.
You just said something there, Mike. You just said if he gets away with it. So you obviously think he was guilty.
No. I didn't say it like that, Nigel. To be honest, I never thought he was guilty, because I just don't think, how can they ever have evidence unless he's got something on his phone? He handed his phone in.
Yeah.
He's showed everything.
He has complied in every way. He has complied and give every single bit of evidence to this investigation, and they have tried every possible way to try and find him guilty. I mean, there were some reports about the amount of the bets, and it wasn't that much money for footballers. And you think
£7 or something like that.
I mean, it's utterly ludicrous.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, he's a walking yellow card most games, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most games he's going to get a yellow card. He's nearly as bad as matey from Newcastle.
If anyone was match fixing, it'd be Alvarez.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. But I think it's an utter disgrace that it's taken this long. You know what I mean? Because it's just the mental health side of it. You know, they go on about this, don't they? What have they done to that bloke? I reckon it's disgusting. I really do.
Absolutely. And in the last couple of hours, Lucas Paqueta has actually posted on Instagram a picture of himself simply putting "back to work" as the caption. So it seems like all roads are leading to innocence for Lucas Paqueta, and what happens after that and the legal advice that he will currently be engaging in is not going to be good for the FA. And I feel like they will have a tricky few questions to answer. We will leave it there. We've discussed the state of West Ham currently. We've discussed the season upcoming, Mohamed Kudus going to Tottenham, and the breaking news that is currently unfolding, that Lucas Paqueta is set to be cleared of all betting allegations after a significant investigation has been undertaken. Nigel and Mike, thank you very much indeed for joining me as always. I'm sure we'll catch up very soon before the season gets underway, and hopefully we have some signings to discuss.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, mate.
There we go. From us, come on your irons, and we will see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much. I wouldn't bet on it, but it seems like Paqueta is about to be cleared. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.